Perfectionism, self-abuse with good branding. So, what are your strengths? I asked. And with this proud little grin, he said, well, I'm a perfectionist. Like it's a compliment, a badge of excellence. And I thought, you poor thing. But people do it all the time, don't they? Completely unaware that what they're really saying is, I live in constant fear of not being enough. You know the moment all too well. You're about to start something and suddenly realize it's not ready yet. You can't send that email, it's still missing something. You can't show the draft, it's not good enough yet. You can't start the project, you're not fully prepared. So you tweak, fiddle, edit, rethink. Now, there's nothing wrong with wanting to do things well. But perfectionism isn't preparation. It's procrastination dressed as productivity, because it keeps you trapped in almost, and you never finish. You tell yourself you're avoiding mistakes, but really, you're avoiding exposure, never giving yourself a chance to actually do the thing. You think perfectionism protects you from failure, but it just protects you from progress. And ironically, that's how you fail, by never giving yourself permission to begin. You do it because somewhere along the way, you learned that mistakes equals pain, that being good equals safe, that approval equals worth. So your brain made a decision. If I do everything perfectly, maybe then I'll be loved. In other words, perfectionism isn't I want to do great work. Perfectionism is, if I can make everything perfect, maybe no one will see what's wrong with me. So it's not about high standards, it's about fear. The fear that if it's not perfect, you're not enough. You don't chase perfection because you want to excel. You chase it because you're terrified to be seen. That's the real fear. Not of doing something wrong, but fear of being someone wrong. Every time you wait until you're ready, you teach your brain, I can't handle it yet. And your confidence quietly sinks. You think perfection builds self-worth? It doesn't. It borrows it from other people's approval, and that's why it never feels enough. The truth is, perfectionists aren't confident high achievers. They're anxious overthinkers with fancy notebooks and 37 unfinished drafts of brilliance. No matter how hard you try, you'll never reach perfect, simply because it's an elusive concept. It doesn't exist. Now, I'm not suggesting you should lower your standards. You don't fix perfectionism by aiming lower. You fix it by trusting higher, trusting yourself. When you trust yourself to handle whatever happens, you don't need things to be perfect. You just need them to be real. Simple. Make some mistakes on purpose. Seriously, let things happen and see that you can handle them. Imperfect, unchecked, unpolished. Just get it out, fail, and learn that the world doesn't end just because you made a mistake. I know you think perfection protects you from failure, but really, failure is the only thing that can set you free. Start small. Instead of waiting to feel ready, begin messy. Instead of chasing flawless, aim for finished. Instead of asking, is it perfect? Ask, is it honest? Perfection doesn't build confidence. Action does. And with every imperfect move you make, you start to realize that you are brave enough to disappoint people, bold enough to try before you're ready, and human enough to be imperfect. And that's where self-trust begins. Not flawless, but fearless. Dare to be average. Become self-driven.